this is very difficult for me because this is not just another tragedy in my district. This is one that's very, very close to me. When I received the telephone call from Sonya's Massey's cousin, I really couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is something that happens on television shows or something we hear about on network nightly news, not in my hometown, not involving someone that is an integral part of my life. Sonya was not just a constituent or someone I knew casually. Her grandmother and my grandmother were friends. Her aunt was married to my mother's best friend's son, my childhood friend. When I moved on the corner of Lawrence and Wheeler in 1981, there were 5 families of Masseys living on that block, including Sonya's grandparents, her mother, and my current immediate neighbor to the west bears the last name of Massey. Sonya was a regular visitor to my home. We actually visited on my front porch a week before her murder. And during our visits, she always called me Auntie. So when I spoke to Sonya's mother to try and console her, and she said to me, "Nothing else matters. I just want you to get justice for my baby." And she says that to me every time I see her. I immediately made her that promise, and that promise has guided my steps from that day forward. Almost immediately, County Board Chair Andy Van Meter and I created the Massey Commission, a citizens commission that is a direct response to the thoughtful comments from members of the community voiced after Sonya's murder. The commission is committed to leading a process for the community to listen, learn, and act. They recently issued a 6-month report which contains several recommendations, including the support of Senate Bill 1953 and Senate Bill 1954, 2 pieces of legislation that I have filed and passed out of the Senate, and the establishment of a 708 mental health board, which Chair Van Meter and I are championing. I began working on Senate Bill 1953 and Senate Bill 1954 immediately because I felt the urgency, and my community felt the urgency, and my friend, the Massey family, felt the urgency. And through a lot of collaborative work, they made their way through the Senate. Senate Bill 1953 with a unanimous vote, and Senate Bill 1954 being a bit of a heavier lift. However, please know that all along the way, I was listening to and being driven by my constituents, the community, and the Massey family. I believe that Senate Bill 1953 goes a long way to prevent individuals with backgrounds such as Sean Grayson's from ever becoming associated with law enforcement. In collaboration with the Illinois Sheriff's Association and the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, we were able to determine necessary guardrails to include in this legislation. It would require law enforcement agencies to conduct a more comprehensive review of a prospective officer's past employment to ensure his or her physical and psychological fitness for duty as a police officer before making an offer of employment. Additionally, to ensure the highest degree of integrity and professionalism in the hiring process of sheriff's deputies and other personnel, the legislation expands the creation of sheriff's merit boards and sheriff's merit commissions for counties with a population of at least 75,000. It currently sits at 1 million, so you can imagine how many communities would not reach that threshold. When we call for law enforcement, it's never a good day. And the expectation is that the responding officer will live up to the motto, protect and serve. With the passage of Senate Bill 1953, I feel confident that going forward and over time, our communities and law enforcement will have built a trusting relationship, and I will have kept my promise to my friend and Sonya's mother. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to keep up to date with news from the caucus. For more information on what I'm working on, please follow me on social media using the links in the description below.